With Season 4 of My Hero Academia just over halfway finished and the Shihei Saikai arc coming to a close, a lot has happened over the past few weeks in the world of My Hero Academia. The current arc has undoubtedly been the darkest one yet, filled with gruesome murders, bloody battles, and a constant feeling of dread and panic. However, it is in the darkest times where the light truly shines the brightest, and the same can be said for our enthusiastic young heroes. This season has brought us some of the most amazing and memorable moments in the series so far, and not just for the main cast. With the big time hitters like Bakugo, Todoroki and Ida taking a step aside, other characters like Kirishima, Tamaki, and even the League of Villains got their chance to shine in the limelight. While it was stunning to see these amazing characters have their moments, there was one character who came out of absolutely nowhere and stole the show. A character whose light shone so brightly that it's no wonder he was considered the new symbol of peace. The person I'm referring to is Mirio Togata A.K.A Lemillion. When we are first introduced to Mirio, he is bubbly, cheerful, and a bit of a goofball. Not really what you'd expect from the #1 student in UA. What makes Mirio stand out, however, is his unrivaled skill and talent, which can be seen in his first encounter with Class 1A. Power! From a narrative perspective, Mirio's introduction acts as two things. Firstly, he is the light-hearted intermission between two arcs. Class 1A was constantly dragged through the mud and dirt in Season 3, with the villains attacking the training camp, Bakugo getting kidnapped, All Might losing his power, some of the class members not getting hero licenses, and Midoriya and Bakugo battling out their emotions. Season 4 only follows the dread with more terror, so introducing Mirio is a nice change of pace that reminds us this world isn't full of horror, and that there is still goofiness and fun to be had. The second purpose of Mirio's introduction is to show us what it takes to be the #1 hero. We've seen Class 1A successfully take on villains and top heroes alike, so it's hard to tell how far these first years are away from claiming their titles as pros. This is where Mirio comes in. We witness him take out the young wannabe heroes with ease, wiping each one out cold with a single punch. This demonstration of power shows both us, the audience, and Class 1A not only the sheer destructive force of Mirio, but also the potential behind each hero. You would think the #1 student in UA would have some form of super powerful quirk that could compete with the likes of Endeavor, and maybe even All Might. But in reality, it's a quirk that at first glance seems utterly useless. By comparing Mirio's quirk to those of Class 1A's, it's clear that his ability isn't good. It's not flashy, super powerful, or easy to use, but it's what Mirio does with it that makes it good. Through determination, experience, and constant training, Mirio turns his seemingly useless ability into something unstoppable. And because of this, he not only excels in his class, but he goes from failing UA to becoming the #1 hero in the school. While there are those that have been blessed with extraordinary abilities that allow them to do unbelievable and unique things, Mirio represents the ordinary. The people who have abilities, but are told that they're nothing special. And he shows that just because you were born ordinary doesn't mean you can't become extraordinary. This alone is awe-inspiring, and it's easy to see why people really like this character. But the thing that truly stands out about Mirio is his personality. With the seriousness of the past few arcs, we can often forget the light-hearted and goofy nature that All Might possessed. He was fun, jokey, and a bit of a klutz. While Midoriya represents All Might's willingness to save people, and Bakugo represents his uncompromising will to win, neither hero fully encaptures All Might's personality. Mirio, however, does. He makes stupid jokes, he's always in a good mood and smiling, and if no one laughs at his jokes, he makes fun of his own failure. I mean, the guy walks in happiness. Just look at him. Look at him. He oozes positivity, and it's hard not to smile along with this lovable goofball. I remember laughing so hard at Mirio's first interaction with Midoriya. It was extremely short, but it came out of nowhere and was just so goofy and fun. Mirio's mere presence brightens up the world around him. This is true for both us, the audience, and the characters themselves in the show. A prime example of Mirio's effect on others is his relationship with his fellow classmate and childhood friend, Tamaki Amajiki. Tamaki is brilliant and has an amazing quirk, but lacks the self-confidence needed to become a great hero. Mirio brings out this confidence in him. Whenever Tamaki compliments Mirio, instead of rising above the compliment or disregarding it, Mirio uses it to inspire Tamaki. When Tamaki calls Mirio the sun, he retorts, saying if that's the case, then Tamaki is something even brighter. I mean, compare this to Bakugo and Midoriya's relationship, where Midoriya looks up to and admires Bakugo, and Bakugo just trashes the boy. I mean, my god, he's just trying to help, damn! Mirio's goal is to not only bring out the best in himself, but to bring it out in others as well. His foundations of being a hero is to bring joy and happiness to others. This is what Sir Night Eyes saw in both Mirio and in All Might, and is his reason for mentoring Mirio. While his skill and determination make him the #1 student in UA, it's his personality that makes him the #1 contender for the symbol of peace. But Mirio is not perfect, and just like all trainees, he makes mistakes. When Mirio and Midoriya first encounter Eri in Overhaul, it is clear that something is wrong, and that Eri is in trouble. Midoriya instinctively wants to jump in and save Eri, but Mirio stops him. Mirio makes the call to not get involved, believing that stopping Overhaul later would be a better strategy, and this turns out to be true. However, it is the revelation of what Eri is going through that breaks Mirio. He realizes that the little girl he let go is going through hell. Midoriya wanted to act and blames himself for not jumping in, but it is because of Mirio that nothing happened. He made the call, and as a result, the little girl had to go back to torture. This breaks Mirio and brings him into a state he has never experienced before. A state of regret. His happy and joyful exterior is replaced by one of gloom and doubt, and as a result, so does the world around him. A feeling of despair fills the air while the heroes anticipate the call to action, and this feeling remains until the heroes get the all clear to make a move. Suddenly, the atmosphere of distress is vanquished, and hope once again returns. The Mirio that charges into the raid, however, is not the same Mirio we are used to. We've seen him be relaxed, easygoing, holding back. This is the first time we get to see a serious Mirio. The laughing fun exterior is gone, and instead is replaced by an uncompromising, unwavering, infallible Lemillion. Mirio pushes ahead of his fellow heroes and demonstrates fully why he is the #1 in UA, by not only taking on 1, not 2, not even 3, but 4 members of the Shueisha Saikai. The regret that filled Mirio before is still present, but now he can do something about it. Mirio is willing to put everything on the line to save Eri. In his eyes, leaving her with Overhaul is something more despicable than anything a villain could do, and yet, she still chose to run back to hell to save him. This little girl is more courageous than any hero in existence, and to leave her with Overhaul is just something that Mirio refuses to let happen. Mirio not only dominates the Shueisha Saikai, but he does it all while protecting Eri. Overhaul may be strong, but Lemillion is stronger. Watching this scene filled me with goosebumps. I couldn't help myself from getting so pumped and hyped watching Mirio pummel these villains. It was just so satisfying to watch someone who works so hard to be where they are destroy the bad guys. I was all on board the Lemillion hype train. He was going to complete his goal. He was going to save Eri. But then, disaster. The clips play before our eyes. We get to see the struggles, the pain, and the effort young Mirio put into being a hero right as his power is being taken away. He worked so hard to be where he was, from the hopeful young child running with a red cloth around his neck, dreaming of being a hero, to actually becoming one. And in a single moment of being a hero, he seemingly lost it all. This character came out of nowhere and quickly stole his way into our hearts. And just as quickly as he arrived, he gets taken away. As Mirio lay on the ground, my heart sank. I honestly couldn't believe it. This youthful, enthusiastic hero who proved through all the hardship that he was good enough had his whole life taken from him. And as Overhaul stood up mocking Mirio, I sat back in my chair trying to accept this reality. It was over. But just as the tears were about to fill my eyes and Overhaul was about to win, the light that is Mirio exploded. There was no thoughts, no inner monologue, no regrets, just action. As a quirkless Mirio stood up and fought back, my eyes welled with tears, not of sorrow, but with hope. Then, Mirio uttered those words that echoed through my mind even days after watching.
No, I am not powerless. I am still Lemillion!
This character had seemingly lost everything, but he kept fighting. He didn't think twice. Mirio was so obsessed with becoming a hero that saves people that the fact that he lost his quirk meant nothing. Most people would have hesitated, questioned themselves, needed some time to think, or would have just given up. But Mirio kept going. He had just lost his whole life's work, and he didn't even flinch. This is why Mirio is number one. Because when he sets his mind on a goal, no other eventual future can possibly exist. In this moment in time, there were so many possibilities, so many variations and possible outcomes, but through it all, there was a single constant. Mirio was going to be Eri's hero, and not a force in the world could change that. Through my time watching My Hero Academia, no other character has come into the show and made such an impact in quite a short time frame. This character that made me laugh so hard had brought tears to my eyes. While there are amazing characters in this world, none demonstrate the pure passion and determination of being a hero quite like Mirio. In a world with super powerful beings that can blow up cities in an instant, it is Mirio's heart that makes him unstoppable. And that is something no villain can take away from him. In a superhuman society where there is an abundance of people who call themselves heroes, there is one person who, quirkless or not, proves that no matter what happens to you, no matter how far you were pushed, no matter how much life takes away from you, as long as you can move and do something, anything, you have power. This person is a true hero, and his name is Lemillion.